we will do exploratory data analysis. So we have completed step 1 and step 2 in the previous video, where we imported the libraries and imported the data set. Now it's time to do some exploratory data analysis. But before diving deep directly into the code, let us understand what is the meaning of exploratory data analysis, also known as EDA in the industry. So exploratory data analysis basically helps you to perform initial investigation on your data. Okay, so initial investigation you perform on a data because the data is very new to you. So you explore that data with the help of some kind of summary statistics such as mean, median, min value, max value, 75th percentile, 25th percentile. You view that and get yourself familiar with the data and get the feel of the data. And you can also plot some kind of graphical representation to basically explore the data. It basically involves to understand the data, getting yourself familiarized with the data, getting the feel of the data, to discover any patterns in the data, any initial patterns. If you have any kind of initial hypothesis, you can see the pattern through that. And you can also spot anomalies in the data, which is such as missing data or outlier in your data. You can spot anomalies in the data. Okay, so EDA basically involves these steps, and we will see like in Python how to do that EDA analysis now. So what will encompass the EDA analysis? It will encompass, we will check for the number of rows and our columns in the dataset. We will get to know about the columns and their corresponding data types. We will check the top 5 rows in our dataset, last 5 rows in the dataset, and whether they are consistent, whether the top rows or the last rows are inconsistent or consistent. We will get to know about that. We will do some kind of statistical summary on the dataset, and we will try to identify any pattern, any outlier from the statistical summary. And we will also check some kind of null value or the missing value in the dataset, because this will help us in doing the missing value treatment in the later sections. So let us start with the first step, which is checking the number of rows and the column in my dataset. Now I am on my Google Colaboratory session. What I'll write, first a text cell again, and in the text cell I will write here exploratory data analysis, and we can bold it again, and I'll use a text cell, not a text cell. Now I'll use a code cell. So first I want to know what are the number of rows and the number of columns in my dataset. So how I can do that? I can write data set, which is the name of the dataset, dot shape. Shape basically tells me the number of rows and the number of columns in my dataset. So if I run this, so I can see like there are 500 rows, and since the data is at a customer level, so I have 500 customers in my dataset, and I have 9 columns in my dataset. So 9, and within this 9 column, 1 is my target variable and 8 are independent variable. Now what I'll do, I will if I want to fetch only the number of rows, how I can do that? There are two methods. One is you can use the index, that is dataset dot shape index of 0. So this is the index of 0 and this is the index of 1. If you run it, so you get 500 rows. Okay, and if you change it to 1, you will get 9 columns. Okay, there is another method to get this 500 rows, which is known as length method. You can do length, len, of dataset. Okay, and run it. So you have 500 rows. So these are the methods to get the number of rows and the number of columns in your dataset. Okay, now we know that there are 500 rows and 9 columns. Suppose I want to view the column name of my dataset. What I can write? Dataset dot columns, and run it. So I have the columns name listed here, which are customer name, customer email, country, gender, age, annual salary, credit card debt, net worth, car purchase amount. And in Python, like the indexing starts with 0. Okay, so these are the columns. Now let me get some information about the data set, like what are the data type of these columns. Okay, so let me show you like how to get that information. So that information is used, like that information keyword is info. So you can write dataset.info and open this parenthesis and close it. So you have these 9 columns and the index is listed here. So in Python, as I have already mentioned, the index starts with 0 and goes on till like your last number. So we have 9 columns. So that's why index goes from 0 to 8. And we can see the customer name, customer email and country are having the object data type. Object is a NumPy data type. Okay, and then gender and age are integer. Okay, and annual salary, credit card debt, net worth, and your car purchase amount are in float. So these are my data types of my column. And we can see the null values count also. So we can see like 500 non-null across all the columns. So that means the data do not contain any null value. So no null value in my data set. So that's a very good thing in my data set, that there is no null value. So I'll be able to skip the missing value treatment step later on. Okay, so there is no null value in my data set. Now let me view the data set, like some top rows and some last rows, so that we get a hang of the data set. Okay, so I have already like shown you the dataset in the Excel before, but assume that in the actual industry environment, the dataset is so huge that you cannot open the dataset in your Excel. So you view the dataset in Python environment itself. So we will view how to view that dataset, how to get the preview of the dataset. We can use head and the tail command. So we'll write dataset dot head and we'll open and close this parenthesis and we will run it. So by default, head command will give you top 5 rows in your dataset. Okay, as you can see here, you are getting the top 5 rows. And we can see like the data is customer name, email, gender, as we have already seen earlier, till the car purchase amount. So suppose I do not want to view the top 5 rows. I want to see the top 10 rows. How to do that? I can insert a code cell again. I can write dataset dot head, in the bracket I can write 10. So now I can see top 10 rows and the index goes from 0 to 9. Okay, and this is the data set. We can see by scrolling it, we can reduce the length of this so that we have more space for viewing our data. Okay, now suppose you want to view the last 10 rows. So it is like analogous to head, it is a tail. Okay, data set dot tail for last 10 rows or last 5 rows. So by default it also shows 5 rows if you do not specify any parameter. Like if you run it like this, so it shows you last 5 rows. Okay, and if you want to view the last 10 rows, you can specify the parameter within this brackets, dataset.tail 10. So you can use 10 and view the last 10 rows in your dataset. Okay, so now we have discussed like how we can see the information about the columns, information about the data set and the top 5 rows, top 10 rows, okay, or last 5 rows and last 10 rows. Now we will move to the some kind of statistical summary of the data set. Okay, describing our data set in terms of statistical summary. So the command used for describing the data set in terms of statistics is describe. So we'll write dataset dot describe. So it will describe only the quantitative columns. So we have gender, age, annual salary, credit card debt, net worth, and car purchase amount. And we have lot of information such as count, mean, standard deviation, mean, and so on and so forth. So first of all, I will start with the mean of it, so that because it helps me to understand the data and quickly get up to speed with the data. Okay. So gender, if I talk about the gender, the mean is 0.5. And in my data set, I know that 1 stands for male and 0 stands for female, and the mean is coming roughly between in 0.5 area. So I can say like the number of males and number of females in my data set are roughly equal, but this is just my initial guess. I will like later on, like when I do the univariate analysis on the gender, I will confirm it, but it helps me like to get a sense of this, that there are equal number of males and equal number of females in my data set. Now coming to the age of the customer, which is 46 years. So roughly on an average 46 years customer purchase a car. Okay, makes sense. Then the annual salary, it is roughly around $62,000. Okay. And the credit card debt, so on an average a customer has a credit card debt of say $9,600 or somewhere close to the $10,000. And the net worth, which is assets minus liability. So asset minus liability will be like the how much assets they purchase minus the liability they owe to the creditor or the bank. Okay, so asset minus liability is 431k, like 430k dollars, and the car purchase amount is roughly between like 44k 45k dollars. So this is helped me basically to understand the data set. And what other information I can get from here is the count. I can see it is 500 across gender, age, annual salary, credit card debt, net worth, and car purchase amount. That means this also ensures me like there is no missing value in any of these columns. Okay. Now what else I can infer from this information? So let us see like the difference of min value and the 25th percentile. This information will basically helps me to identify any kind of outliers on the lower area. So let me compare these two things. Okay, so minimum is 0 and 25th percentile is also 0. So gender, we know like female says 0, so that makes sense, like minimum can also be 0, 25th percentile can also be 0. Then if I talk about age is like 20 here, 41 here. So like nothing very suspicious here also. Okay, and the minimum salary is $20,000, 54,391. It is like 20,000 is minimum, 25th percentile is like say 3 times or 2.5 times. Nothing very suspicious here also. Credit card debt, it can contains an outlier. Minimum value is say $100 and 25th percentile is 7400 approx, like 7397. It is like 75 times of this. So this value might be an outlier. We will check. This is just my initial guess, so we will check when we will do the univariate analysis later on. Now if I come to the net worth, it is 20,000. Okay, and here it's 299,824, which is 300k. Again there is a lot like a big gap here, so this value could be an outlier again. Then if I talk about the car purchase amount, it's $9,000 and the 25th percentile is 37,629. So like 9,000 into 4, roughly like 3 or 4 times, like it makes sense. So like this value could be possible. Okay, now let us view the outliers on the maximum side. We'll compare the 75th percentile and your maximum value. 1 and 1, because it is male, like it makes sense, like 1 and 1, like it can have those values. Age also 52 and 70, nothing suspicious here. It's 70,000. Now annual salary 70,117, which is 75th percentile, and it's 100k. So like values are also like very reasonable. So max value 100k is not looking like any kind of suspicious value. We have now credit card debt 11,798 and 20,000. Nothing suspicious here also, like it can go to like 20,000, like very close value. Okay, then we have net worth, which is 557k, and we have here is 1 2 3 4 5 6 zeros, that is 1 million. Okay, so the value, there is a big gap, like almost a double of this, like okay, so this might be a outlier, but like again, like this is just an initial hypothesis. We will check it later on when we will do the univariate analysis. And car purchase amount 51k and 80k. This is also like very reasonable, so this is also like not looking like an outlier. So we have like based on our initial hypothesis, we have identified three outliers here, which is in the credit card debt, this one, and the net worth lower and the net worth higher. So these three are looking like an outlier based on our initial hypothesis, but like we'll again like check it and validate it when we will do the univariate analysis in the step 4. Now we will compare the mean and the median to look for if there is any significant difference or if the data is skewed or not. We will compare mean and the median here. These two value we will compare. Okay. So let me see, like mean is 0.5 and the median is 1. So mean is telling me like there is an equal distribution of gender, male and female, but median is telling me like the male is a median. Okay, so okay, like this is basically a categorical variable, so does not make sense to compare mean and median for this one. So let us ignore this gender variable for the comparison purpose. Because this is a categorical variable, it can have only values which is 0 or 1. Then if we compare for the age, it's 46.22 and 46 here. These two values are quite close to each other, so the data is not looking a very skewed data in the age front. Okay, if we look in the annual salary, again like 62,000 roughly and 62,000 roughly, so they are also very close. Data is like looking a very close data, like mean and median are equal, almost equal. Credit card debt 9600 almost, so again like very close data. So data is not skewed here. Okay, 431k and 420k, 426k, 431k, like difference of only 5k is here. So again the data is very mean and median are quite close, so the data is not looking a skewed, a positively skewed or a negatively skewed data. And if you look for the car purchase amount, it's 44k and it's again like roughly a 44k. So again the car purchase amount is also like very close to each other. So the data is looking very symmetric in nature. Okay, very symmetric. Okay, and across all the columns we have mean almost equal to the median, and that's why like the data is very symmetric in nature, and there is no indication of skewness which is coming out from here. So that is also a very good thing, like skewness is not present in our data set. Okay, now we have described the data set also. Okay, and one more thing which I want to show you is that if you want to check the unique values, how you can do that in your any column. For example, let's see like in the gender column, we know like it has already a 0 and 1 value, but like how you'll be able to check any unique value in your data set. So you'll write data set, call that column in the square bracket, for example gender, and write dot, and then unique function. So it has an array of 0 and 1. So this way like you can identify the unique value. So if you want to check the unique values in the age column, how you can do that? Data set, again pass on age dot unique and check it. There is a syntax error, like I by mistake I introduced this particular bracket also. So dataset age dot unique, now it's working fine. Okay, so now if you want to like count the number of unique values, how you can do that? There are two methods to do that. One is you can use the length. Okay, len, which we did earlier also, len, and I will copy this statement, copy and paste it here, and you can see the length is 43. Okay, so there are 43 unique ages in my dataset, and if you want to like display with the direct function, you can copy this function, like complete this function here and write n unique, that is number of unique values, and it will also give 43. So these are the methods which you can use to identify the unique values. Okay, and if you want to check any kind of null value in any kind in a single column, how you can do that? Write data set, then say this particular column, age column, and I want to check null value is NA. If you write like this, is NA, what it will does is, like, it will write like false, 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 like this is, these are not the any value. But I want to check like how many are the null value. I can take a sum of it. So it will take the sum of the value which are true. So if you run it, so there are no null value in my dataset, as we have discussed earlier also. So this is also one of the method to check the null values. So what are the methods to check the null value? One is NA and take the sum of it. And one is you can check through the describe function of the count, because this shows you the non-null values. Okay, and other is the third method is the info method, which we have discussed earlier, this one, which shows you the non-null values here also. Okay, so these three methods helps you to identify if there is any null value in your dataset. Now going back to the PPT. So in this particular video, we have covered these things in our analysis in Python. We have checked the number of rows and the number of columns in the dataset through the help of shape function. We got to know about the column and their corresponding data type through the info function. We have checked top 5 rows and in the dataset through head function. We have checked last 5 rows in my dataset through the tail function, and we have checked the statistical summary of my dataset, which was very important, which is using describe. And checking null values in the dataset, we have discussed 3 methods to check the null value. One is through the info, second is through the describe, and third is you can check individually column by column, that is NA, and take the sum of that. So these all steps you generally perform on any kind of dataset to basically understand and get a feel of the dataset. So guys, this was all about this particular video. In the next video, we will start with the step 4, which is univariate data analysis. Thank you and stay tuned, because like there is like a very good information coming up. So if you like this particular video, please like my channel, subscribe it and share it in the comments, like your feedback, and I will incorporate in the next video. Thank you so much guys for watching this video till the very end, and stay tuned. Bye bye. Have a great day.